So you guys are getting a real exciting show. This is how her hair is crooked. I got a little weird thing going on,
I
but
thought
it's
it was
okay.
my.
We're gonna own it.
I'm not sure if my head is crooked or my hair is crooked or both.
We are often naked together in the mornings
That's true.
via selfie. Andy and I take our ugly selfies in the morning and send them to each other very often. So,
Cheri, have I got the genitals for you?
If you've got an itch, Andy Vargo will scratch it.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Scrutiny with Cheri and Andy. I love making you laugh, by the way. That's one of my favorite things. And I love making you guys laugh, and Cheri is awesome at making everybody laugh. So we are going to laugh, we're going to have a good time, we are going to look at the world, and we are going to add our own personal twist of scrutiny. Cheri, what do we have going on today? We've got some great discussions lined up, don't we?
We do. That was weird. Something weird just happened when I went out my mouth. I know we were going to talk about Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Clubs contest. And I know we were
because
going
Cheri was on
to
that last night.
wrap up some discussions about dreams. And we're also going to talk about pursuing people that are unavailable.
Yes,
Something.
I have some stories about that.
I don't know if there's anything else. I forget.
I don't know if there's anything. Oh, well, if there was any recap we had from now that we're back after Vegas.
Right, after Vegas.
And because our last episode, we were live in our hotel room. And I tell you, I do miss waking up next to you, Cheri.
I know. It was really fun and nice. Like, even though like something I feel like horrible happened to me while we were there.
Yeah.
I don't think of it like when I think back, I think what a great vacation that was. Like I don't even think, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was worried because you worry about things like that. And I think that's the important thing with life in general is that crap happens all the time. And like you and I talk about visualization and focusing and manifestation all the time. And if we're focusing on that negative, if 80% of something was great and 20% was really bad and sucky, but we focus on that 20%, then that's all we're going to take from it. And yet overall, it was a really great, fun time just hanging out. I was not looking forward to it. I mean, I was looking forward to it. Let me backtrack. I was looking forward to the trip, but I wasn't as just naturally excited the couple days leading up to it, which was really bothering me. And it was kind of giving me this depression of why am I not excited about this thing that logically I'm excited about?
Right.
But it's because I don't vacation well. I hadn't set enough time aside to really prepare to go on vacation. So I was stressing about all the things that I didn't quite have tied up in a bow before I left, or that I didn't quite have enough, things done or passed off to other people. So I didn't feel good about the being gone part. But
when
then
did you let go of that?
When you got there, when you and Carol were there, and when I was sitting in Vegas with my bag checked and just kind of hanging out, filling time, waiting for people to get there, because I was the first one at the hotel, right. And I had 4 hours to kill, which was my own timing on how I scheduled my trip. But I didn't want to venture very far because I also didn't want to spoil anything we were going to do. So I was just kind of laying low. But it was also sad to me that I didn't know how to do something other than, like, my natural instinct was to open my laptop and work and fill time. And so I was kind of sad about the fact that that's my go-to when I'm in a completely different place, which isn't always. I just have gotten that way. And so that was kind of like, God, I know this is going to be a fun weekend, but why am I struggling with this? So, but then as soon as we were all there hanging out, I never looked back. I never had a second thought about just, oh my God, we're having fun. We're singing at the piano bar, getting down on my knees for you.
Yeah, we had a good time. And it's like, to me, like, I typically think of a piano bar as, I don't want to like say anything that, like, okay, I've done it once, well, but it was super fun. Like, and it just shows that, number one, who you're with can really change what you're doing.
Sure. Yeah, that's
If
true.
I was sitting in that room by myself or with someone I didn't like that much, it wouldn't have been nearly as much fun. But the fact that it was you and it was perfect. Well, there was a couple cute guys behind us that helped, but
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
you forgot about guys. No,
Does anybody else ever take a selfie like purposely to capture the people behind you?
I would never do it like that.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I just am asking because I saw someone do it, is why I'm asking. So it made me wonder if anybody else does that. I thought it was so weird. But no, it was fun. And a big lesson I learned this weekend is that I need to put more time on the calendar, even if it's just for, a weekend around here. I get a lot of nights out on the town. I get a lot of that stuff, but a lot of them are the same places, the same things. I need something where I remove myself from the normal situation that I'm in and go on a small road trip to Portland or Seattle for the night or another small town or go out to the beach, whatever it is that changes my scenario, and that it's at least a couple days where I close the laptop and put work aside.
And do it on purpose, not because you're avoiding work,
right?
But because you're having fun on purpose.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna start. I've been better about blocking out, 2 hours here, 4 hours there for things, but I need to do it, at least once a month. Block out a couple days that is an intentful, true weekend. So that was one of my big lessons. But
got it. What did you think of Mandalay Bay?
It was nice. I loved it. I've only ever been to Vegas 2 other times. Once was for a work trip when we stayed at Planet Hollywood, but that was really just in and out and at a convention the whole time, so I didn't really experience Vegas that time. And then the next time I stayed at the Luxor, and that was 4 years ago, and 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I think it was 4 years ago, but I was just at the beginning of my divorce or in the middle of it. And I was going with a couple really good friends for one of their 40th birthdays, and we had fun, but I wasn't able to budget to plan for it. And so I was in that mindset where it's like, okay, I can eat out once a day. If I buy this, then I'm going to have to think about what I can spend there. And so I was so overly stressed about that I didn't really enjoy it as much.
Now, somebody told me just yesterday that they have a gay pool party at Luxor on Sundays.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm really glad that he told me that after we got back, but
yeah, because I would have ditched you.
We'll have to check that out next time.
Actually, I probably wouldn't have, because I think that I need to get I'm not pool party confident yet with my body, let alone gay pool party confident. Although, I mean, I shouldn't, because you go there and there's everybody of every walks of life, and that's my own issue. I see other guys that have bodies like me and I'm attracted to them, so it bothers me that that's my own negative thinking about myself. But
yeah, that was my first time staying at Mandalay Bay. I really liked it. I would say, if I was giving someone advice, stay on floor 56 or above, because you get a whole bank of elevators to yourself. And we saw lines and lines and lines outside the other elevators, and we could just get right on ours almost every time. So
yeah, because ours were just for like 5 or 6 floors versus the others that were 10 to 15 floors per elevator. So that is a good tip.
Yeah.
But the room was nice. They did a great job of keeping it tidy and clean, and the service was good.
I liked House of Blues. I would go back there and eat again.
That was good. Yep. Yeah.
Don't you always feel Don't you always feel, well, I always feel like this when I go to Vegas, like, oh man, there's so many things that we didn't get done, like we
Yeah.
didn't get to, that just,
Well, and I don't even know if I filled you in on after you left, because Cheri left at 6:30, crack of dawn flight, Monday morning, and I had a 9 p.m. flight or 8:30 flight.
right.
So I had all day to just kind of figure out what to do. So of course I slept a little bit, but I checked out of the hotel, and in that time I actually checked my laptop and everything. I just put everything in the bellhop, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go free for the day, and I'm just gonna enjoy myself. And I wanted to be outside because it's sunny, and we were outside a little bit, but so much of what you do at Vegas is inside. So I thought I'm gonna walk down the strip and try and find a place to eat outside. And it took a few places, but there's that little French bistro place across the street from Bellagio in the front of Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And there was actually a place before that I tried to get a table, but they didn't have a spot. They had a couple spots that looked like they just hadn't cleaned them, and there was nobody waiting in line or anywhere to be seen for tables. And they were like, well, we just have bars. I'm like, that I don't want to do that. I don't want to go sit in a bar inside.
Right.
So kept walking, and of course, it's getting later, and I'm thinking, now I'm starving, because now I'm like 2 hours later than when I wanted to eat. But it paid off, because the spot that I got was right on the rail at this little cafe directly across from the water fountains at Bellagio, which isn't something that I think it's cool, it's entertaining, but it just made for a really good ambiance to sit there at that type. I've never been to like a French bistro kind of place. It's kind of bougie and fun. And I just sat there by myself and enjoyed a really nice meal, and people watched and took my time and had sorbet for dessert. That was really good. And because I was struggling with that thought of, what do you do all day when you've already been drinking this weekend? I didn't want to make it a party day.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, and then I walked through some stuff, and then ended up finding just a table and chairs that was outside to sit on for a little while, and bought a bottle of water at the CVS or whatever. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, and then I went back and hit a couple of the stores and did gamble a little bit, and then went to the airport. But
Now, a lot of people think that I'm weird that I go to Vegas by myself a lot. How did you feel being there by yourself? Did it feel weird?
It didn't feel weird, because the thing is, when I got there at first and was alone, that was a whole different issue.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was there that last day, and I explore around here by myself, I don't have a problem. The hard part and I've missed that lately, because with things being closed, even as they opened back up, I didn't want to go get a table and take up a space at a restaurant with limited capacity just for one. And even like that, when I was at that bistro, I actually tipped him as if there were two people eating, because I'm taking up that much space. And I know I don't have to do that, but the guy was a good server, and I'm taking up their time. But I do that around here all the time. So for me, going out alone, I think it's a good sign that you're secure and happy enough with yourself that you don't need that other person to fulfill your ability to explore and have fun. But
Right.
and you can people watch, and I, we're both extroverted enough that we can make friends and talk with people, and it's kind of fun to be out just chatting up strangers. And that's one of the things that was so fun about this trip too, is that we went to Dino's bar, or bar and grill, whatever Dino's is, and did karaoke the one night. And we went to Noreen's for the Sunday Fun Day comedy. And those are both neighborhood places off the strip, where we were just meeting locals and some travelers and some mostly local people, and just hanging out. And it was such a good mix of that too, which was fun.
Right. Well, cool. Yeah, we had a good time. Now, has it been hard to like get back into the swing of things at home?
Surprisingly not. I mean, a little bit. Monday night was kind of hard coming home, but Tuesday morning, I actually had a podcast recording scheduled at 9:30, which I was kind of mad at myself for not having blocked that time out. And then I had a different podcast that I was going to be a guest on, and I was recorded at 1:00. And then I had to work a regular thing that night. So I had a full day Tuesday, and I was kind of kicking myself thinking, when am I going to do laundry? When am I going to get settled in? But it was kind of nice, because, if I would have blocked the day out, I still wouldn't have done laundry. I would have lazied around. And so I think it was kind of good that I had to work right away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's been okay. I'm back at work. We're at the end of the school year. So we're all just like looking at the calendar like, oh my God. But I felt like I had a proper vacation. And so
Yeah.
that felt good. Like I thought I've never been just for a quick weekend and back before. And I would do it again. I would do that again.
Yeah, to me, it felt like just kind of the right amount of time because we didn't drag out the partying so much that we were so wasted and needed days to recover when we got back. And it's not so far away that there's a time zone change that you're dealing with, where you're hours away. And you had to be contest ready for last night. Did you feel like that at all made it hard to be ready, or?
No, I mean, a 5-minute set, at the point in my career that I'm in is pretty easy. I've had a tight 5 for a long time, and I can pull very many different 5-minute sets out. It helps being comfortable being at that venue because I featured there a few times. So I'm comfortable with the stage. So I didn't have nerves.
Yeah.
I
And I
know that I would love to win this thing and that I'm really excited to be in it. And I knew I was going to do well. I knew I was going to do well. So, and I don't mean to be cocky. I just, I've been around long enough. I know I'm going to do all right.
Yeah. And there are those dynamics, like you said, this being comfortable at the stage, which that's what I was surprised when I did the open mic there. It's a rounded corner stage, and that makes a big difference on how you have to interact with the audience because they're everywhere. And you have to be able to kind of work the whole room. And that's really different. If you're not used to that, it's kind of nice. And even just any room you're in, being comfortable with it makes a big difference.
Yeah, because if I were to go into a brand new space and be doing a contest, I would have nerves because I am a person with anxiety, and I know that as a person with anxiety, familiarity helps a lot. So the first time I'm in a place, I'm always highly anxious. The next time I go in there, I'm okay, because I know it. I know where stuff is and that kind of thing.
So do you find that there are certain things that you need to do if you're going to be doing something that is a little bit more important to you and it's going to be in a new place to help get ahead of that?
Yeah, to go early so that I can see people coming in. The worst thing for me would be to show up right at the last minute, have to try and figure things out. No way. Now, I know somebody else that has anxiety, and he says, to sit there and just wait with anxiety would kill him. So he's the opposite of me. But I like if I can even go, like if I know I'm going to be performing in a spot, I might go the day before and find out where the bathrooms are and look at the stage and are there stairs and all that kind of, especially because I have a scooter, so I have to worry about how I'm going to navigate the space. So just be it knowing my surroundings.
I'm glad you mentioned that difference of the other person who your tactic would be the kind of the kiss of death for them to succeed in that situation. Because I was actually on a coaching call with a client today, and we were talking about writing, how you go about writing a speech. That's something that they want to pursue. And I was telling them, the thing is, you can Google stuff and watch stuff, and everybody's going to tell you their right way to do it. And it's important to get all these ideas, but to know that your right way is going to be your own way, and it could be a combination of some of those things. But I think a lot of times we beat ourselves up because we try what other people say is the right thing to do, and then it doesn't work for us. And we're like,
right.
And yet we would be better off showing up at the last minute. And so.
Yeah, but I was really happy with how it went last night. I actually think I did better than I thought I was going to do. I would like to replay it because in my head it was like, it just felt like the whole room was just a big bundle of love for me,
People were definitely sorry. People were cheering loud when he said your name. That's for sure.
Yeah, so it was good, and I felt really happy about it, and I am very happy for the other people that made it through.
And even the people who didn't make it through, there were some people I've not seen before that did a really great job. And that's fun to see too.
Right. Yeah. So it was good. You know, you always want everyone to make it through, and you feel bad for your friends when they don't.
Yes.
But that's the nature of a competition. So there's one more week of preliminaries. The next heat will be this coming Wednesday. And I've been there to watch every one of them, but I have a show this Wednesday at Northwest Peaks, headlining set there. So I'm going to miss this round of preliminaries, but I wish them all well, and I can't wait to find out who goes through.
Yeah. So maybe it's a good time to ask, you have Northwest Peaks, do you have anything else coming up you want to make sure people know about?
I have Northwest Peaks. Let me just say, look that up, because I think they're selling the tickets by the table.
Okay.
So grab a group of people and find that event. It's you can find it on my page. Oh, yeah. and go to that. On the 20th, I'm doing Live Rude Girls at Tacoma Comedy Club.
Yay.
So that's going to be fun. I haven't performed there in a while, so I'm happy that they asked me to do that. And there's some other stuff. And as far as Nate's contest, I'm not sure when I go up next. We haven't gotten that information.
But continue to follow Cheri's page, because as soon as she knows, it'll be on there, and we all want to be there. So that's awesome. The next comedy show I have is not until July 7th. I'm doing Cole Street. I'm going to host Cole Street Brewing out in Enumclaw.
Fun.
And yeah, thank you. And then outside of that, I'm still doing a lot of personal coaching. So that is getting busier and busier, which I love and I'm excited for. It's making me have to figure out what obligations I need to let go of in order to make, when you're working to make something grow, and as it grows, and you go, oh, this is what I wanted to take up space in my life, so now I got to look at what else I can back out of. So
wow, that's exciting. Yeah. We don't have any comments. You guys can comment.
Yes,
I would love to answer any comment. I just woke up from a nap, and I woke up with a sore throat, so I don't know if it's allergies or if I slept with my mouth hanging wide open. Not sure what's going on with that. I don't know why I felt the need to say that right now, but it's kind of bothering me. So,
well, we'll watch out for that. So if we lose your voice partway through, that was one thing. I definitely lost my voice a lot from the time in Vegas. There was just a lot of singing and laughing, and I guess, does drinking make you lose your voice?
I don't know. It's probably all that cackling you were doing.
Probably. Was there some cackling?
I can always tell when you're feeling your alcohol, because the cackle comes out. It's my favorite. And it just makes me laugh so much, even all the more. So, yeah.
It was a fun weekend. Yeah. So speaking of, this is kind of related to our trip. I don't know if you're ready for me to talk about this, but I wanted to talk about this pursuing of people. I know it's boring. Oh, I thought you were yelling.
No, I was, but.
But I wanted to talk about this issue of pursuing or attracting people that are not available, because I've had this happen a few times lately. And so this is my counseling session. I signed up for a therapy session on July 7th, so I will be cured after that. But I figure in the meantime, we can talk about it openly.
Okay.
But I've noticed lately, and I've had this happen, and I know, Cheri, I've shared this with you a little bit, is that lately, a few different times I've gone out to karaoke or comedy or different things where I've had the chance to mix with people, now that we can start doing that again, I've noticed that I am continually getting into flirty situations or, friendly banter with guys who are not really available. And as much as, it's annoying and it's flattering at the same time, I'm wondering, what is it that, and we all have that thing, right, where we're always attracting the same type, and whether it's we're attracting the person who's too dominant, or not secure enough and is relying on us too much. Like no matter what it is, we have these patterns that we have that brings these things into our life. So I'm trying to figure out what is it that I'm doing that is that's who I'm either gravitating towards or that's what I'm pulling towards me. And either it's guys that end up not being quite completely out. So they're not really looking for a relationship. They're just looking to flirt for the night, which is fun. Don't get me wrong. Or it's guys that are, like one guy was there with his girlfriend and practically hitting on me. I felt like they were hitting on me. He invited me to his table. I touched his ear. I said, is that too much? He said, actually, it's not quite enough. So I feel like that was, pretty flirty. I touch people's ears when I drink, apparently. It's a thing. But I wasn't the first thing. And that same thing when we were at the karaoke night, the one guy with the tight red pants comes over and says hello to me and is introducing himself to me. And he's like got the perfect body. He's there for a bodybuilding convention, just like the perfectly trim body. And I'm like, wow. But again, not available. And so I'm like, why is this happening to me? And I think that for myself, it has to do with the type of people that I'm attracted to are a little bit less obviously gay sometimes. So then I feel like maybe I open myself up to that it's like, okay, there's that element. I don't know. But I guess I'm curious. So if you're watching, if you have some advice for me, I know we're supposed to be giving you advice, but I'm asking for help here. How do I not attract that? Have other people run into this where you seem to constantly be finding people that are not available? And if so, what's the mental block? And like I said, I'm going to be cured on July 7th. That's a month away. That's my appointment. So I asked for the one and done program.
Oh, okay. It works that way? Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So the little I know about this subject, which is actually a lot, I think in a lot of cases, people that are constantly attracted to the wrong people or people that are unavailable is because they're really not ready to be in a relationship themselves. And it's an easy way to kind of blame it on the other person because they're not available. And so, I think when you're actually really ready to be fully in a relationship, that will stop happening, or it will happen less and less.
Okay, that just made my gut just tingle. Because I was like, damn it, I think she's right. Because I have gone back and forth on that a lot. Like I'll talk to guys online, or I'll think about going out on a date, and then I look at my calendar and I'm like, well, I can see you this Wednesday from 4 to 6, or I can see you 3 Thursdays from now for dinner or lunch, Sunday 3 weeks from now. And none of those leave room for a second date or a chance to get to know each other. So in that reality, my life is a little bit too hectic to actually welcome in a relationship. So if I haven't created the space for one, then I guess there is some truth there.
And then as far as the guy with the red pants, I think he also flirted with Carol and he also flirted with me. So sometimes maybe you read a little bit too much into a situation when the guy's just some slut that's walking around flirting with everybody, and it really isn't saying anything about you.
Yeah, that's true. And as I was looking at his Instagram today, because that's what you do. Not because of not being able to get over to him, but I was telling someone this story, so I was showing them the Instagram. That's why. But I noticed it's one of those where everything is perfectly posed, and it makes me think this is the type of person when I meet people, and that's what I see on their Instagram, is that they're looking for so much attention, specifically around their body, where I think, okay, I think this is someone who really likes that attention. They're just looking for it, kind of an attention whore.
Right.
And so you're right, they will get it from wherever they can. And
let me just say, that was not like a slut shaming statement, because I love me some sluts. That was just just a descriptor, kind of a term about so
So
no, but I learned a lot about relationships when I went through Codependence Anonymous.
Hmm.
And so, not that I'm an expert because I still have my struggles. But yeah, I think a lot of times you attract, just like the law of attraction, you kind of get back, not really what you put out, but or sometimes what you put out, sometimes what you think you deserve.
Mhm.
You'll notice when you start repairing and trying to heal those things about yourself, that the quality of men that you meet is going to elevate.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I'm picturing kind of like a filter, because when we're in that room that night and this guy's flirting with Carol and you and other people, that's not going through my filter. I'm just seeing the attention I'm getting. And if I'm in a healthier mindset, then I'm seeing it from a little better filter, where I see, oh, this is what that person's really, how they're working the room. And that filters them out of the people I'm willing to bring in, or
Or at
or
least
return
you're
the
at least
exchange with.
aware of it.
Yeah, like, yeah, you can, it doesn't mean you can't have the flirty banter and have fun with it, but it takes away the, oh, maybe this will go somewhere. It's like, okay, that was fun for the night, like the other guy that took my shirt. uh I knew that wasn't going to go anywhere, and I didn't expect it to. We're in Vegas, so I also know that anybody I
Right.
meet there isn't from my hometown, isn't going to be anybody I'm going to have a date with. So
Right.
I that does help limit at least that night.
Right. Well, and I think that having, like a flirtation with someone that you know is not going to go anywhere, um, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's fun, you know.
It's an ego boost.
hmm Why not?
Hmm. But then there is that flip side of the ego boost, where you wonder, was I being used for their own ego boost themselves? Um, but as long as you keep that in the right place and don't buy into it, then
Well,
you
it
don't.
all depends on how you end up feeling about yourself
Yeah,
after the situation. But I
true.
do think that if a person notices that they're chronically attracting the same situation over and over and over again, it's definitely something to look at.
Hmm. And I don't know that I have always. I just noticed a few in a row this last time, and it's more been when I've been out on the town, which has been more lately than in the past with
Well, and a lot
COVID.
of times with you, sorry to interrupt, but if you're in a gay bar, it's pretty easy to know what's going on. But if
Right.
you're out at work or in a straight bar or wherever, then you
Yeah, you
have
don't
that
know.
whole ambiguous, like not exactly knowing what. It's not like you walk up to people and go, "Hi, I'm gay," like.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing, is because I'm a firm believer that, just like a beach ball, that's one of the colors on my stripes, that not everybody sees every side of you all the time. When you hold up that beach ball and look at it, you see a little slice of someone, and different people see different parts of me. And I don't need, I don't have any one thing that I lead with all the time, where I don't step into every conversation and say, I'm a father, I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, I'm gay, I'm a comedian. Like,
hmm
it all just makes up part of me. And so I don't like to lead with any one particular thing. But then there is that, okay, well, at some point, like the guy that I went on the date with, the non-date, that I forgot to ask him if he's gay before, during, and after, and we might go out again, and I still need to figure out how to. And now it's just awkward, right? Because it's been like 2 months, and we're talking about maybe going on a hike or something, and I'm thinking, what do I say? Do I just wait till we're a couple miles out in the woods and say, so, you into guys? I don't know.
Did I tell you about the woman that I met last night?
I don't think you did.
I think, yeah, because you left a little. Uh, this woman came up and said that she has paid to see me. She's like, I've seen you at a show. I've paid to see you at a show
Oh,
before.
wow.
And oh, I think you're wonderful. I think you're wonderful. And she just kept getting closer to my boobs, and then she went boop boop like that on my breast. And then later she
Wow.
came back over and she goes, I just want you to know I still think you're wonderful. I told my boyfriend that he could touch your boobs, that I touched your boobs, and he could touch them too.
And you're like, they're not just a display for anybody to touch just because you told them he could touch them.
But that happens to me a lot. always a white woman, and she's always blonde. It's hilarious.
Interesting.
Always in
Well,
about
you
her
have a type.
40s. I guess
Huh.
so. So Bring
Well,
it
you
on,
were
girl.
rocking them last night in that outfit. I know I saw your comment on Facebook that it's actually a nightie,
yeah.
which I think you've told me before because I've seen you wear that before.
Mm.
But you really rock it. It looks good, and that
Great.
really commanded a certain presence on the stage, and it just kind of spoke to you being this lively, fun, kind of sexual presence that you're going to be when you're up there on stage
That
doing those kind of
People
jokes.
want to touch my boobs.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Apparently, it's not just boob sweat season; it's also boob touch season.
Well, Andy, I just want you to be happy in whatever you do. So,
Well, I relatively am, but you know what? You know how you just have those moments where you're like, And it's interesting because I am generally happy with my life as it is, and then you get these teases of, but maybe there's more, and then you think,
right.
okay, should I want more? Should I be okay with more? And then it kind of messes with your head. But
Yeah. Well, I was single till I was 49 years old, and so I know what it's like to like kind of want to be with someone, but then think, oh, is that going to mess everything up? Like, do I really want someone breathing down my neck all the time? And there's a lot to consider when it comes to. Are you looking at your phone?
sorry, I had a little urgent thing, but it's all good.
I thought you were going to turn that off before you got on.
I turned it down, but then it lit up, and so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize. That's my bad.
That's
I had a
okay.
little crisis starting just as a show happening. I thought it was solved, but it is now. So I
Oh, it
flipped it
is.
upside down. But yeah,
Is the crisis solved or just the phone's upside down?
both.
Oh, good. Good. Okay.
But yeah, I think we all have to get to that place where you're okay alone, and then you can have the right person come in.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think that just because maybe you keep having this, you're not broken in any way. You're not broken in any way that this is happening. It's just food for thought.
Yeah. Well, it does make me. It made me add a checkbox to my Mr. Right list because I have my non-negotiables, which maybe we can go through that on the next show.
Non-negotiables. Oh, that's good.
Like your list, and but it made me add a checkbox, and I will share that with you on our next show. So please tune in, and you can find out what I had to add to my Mr. Right list, which I keep on my phone, but I'm not going to open it right now because that's distracting.
All right.
All right. So we had something else on the list. Was it dreams?
Yeah, because we had talked about dream interpretation, and I just want to talk. We talked a little bit about lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to bring up. Do you think that people like from the other side or that have passed or whatever can come to you in your dreams, like, or do you think when people have dreams about people that have passed, that's just their brain's way of dealing with the situation?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a way for people to contact us. I don't know. I've never given it thought to if I think both could be true, because I think that while we are dreaming, our brain is definitely processing a lot of things. So it could be taking memories, taking hopes, taking fears, and putting that in our head, and our brain's kind of going, okay, this person's on our mind right now. Just like, when we have things that are really bothering us, we dream about things around that situation, I feel. So I think that can be true, but I don't disbelieve that people have a way of reaching out and contacting us, whether we're dreaming or awake or something. And so maybe both could be true.
Well, I wanted to tell you about a dream that I used to have. I had a friend who committed suicide. And without giving too much away about the people and who they were, in the dream, she would always tell me, don't tell my sister that I've been coming to visit you or I'll stop coming. And in the dream, she was kind of telling me some of the circumstances of what had happened before she killed herself. And so I kept having this recurring dream. I know this makes me sound like a nut job, but she kept coming to me. And so I finally thought, well, maybe I should tell her sister, because her sister had maybe felt some guilt about the role she played in what happened. And so I kind of felt that it was important just to let her know I'd been dreaming this. And I struggled with it for a while because, like, do you even bring that up to somebody or not? But as soon as I told her that she had been dreaming about her, or that she had been coming to me in my dreams, she quit coming to my dreams, just like she said, I'll quit coming to you in your dreams. But then a couple of years later, I noticed I would have dreams and she would be just off in the distance, just kind of peeking at me. Isn't that odd?
That
And
is odd.
I always felt like it was really her because it just felt like it was.
Yeah, I don't disbelieve that it wasn't, I think that the tricky thing is to know, and I don't think that we ever can know, is when is our brain doing something that's tricking us into thinking, tricking us into thinking that is the person communicating versus processing information. See, even Contagious through a screen.
So you know that I'm not a serial killer.
But that's interesting too, that you felt that presence, like she wasn't done with you later. She still wanted that relationship to go on.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. I have a friend, and we have always told each other that if there's a way to get in contact with each other when one of us is dead, that we're gonna try. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's a book. I saw it on a documentary about how they connect. It's the documentary is called Beetlejuice, and they get this book and then they stay in the attic, but it tells them how to contact the living.
Really? Yeah, that's hilarious, Andy. Oh, so you know Beetlejuice, but you don't know The Shining? Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to get a clip of Red Rum, and play it during our show.
Yeah, every time we walked down the hallway, Cheri was like, Red Rum, Red Rum, Red Rum.
I know, and then that last day or the next to the last day, we're like, well, this is probably our last time walking down this hallway together. It's like, no, there'll be one more time, and then there wasn't.
I know.
And so every time I went down that hallway, it's like, Andy's not here to say Red Rum to.
Oh. I thought that the next morning too when I was going down that hallway. I was like,
oh, you thought about me?
I did.
Oh wait, we have here this whole time we had. Oh no! Oh, my friend Scott says hi. Hi.
Hey, Scott.
I was just talking about him actually, because he's the one that we've always said, like, if there's some way to visit each other after one of us is dead, we're actually, he and I are in a race to see who's going to die. It's not really a race, but it's like we're taking bets. We're taking bets. No.
Someone's got to contact someone.
Yeah. I hope he thinks that's as funny as I think it is, because he might not. I was also thinking back to something we were talking about earlier, that we should have like some kind of betting pool on the comedy contest.
Oh.
I mean,
yeah.
Of course, there would be no illegal gambling involved, but it would be kind of fun to, put some Monopoly money down on it. I don't know how to do that kind of thing, but we could figure it out.
Yes, we could.
Hey, people that are watching. Hey.
Hey.
I'm not really prepared for the show today, in case you haven't noticed.
Well, we're at like 50 minutes. So
are we already at 50
minutes? So I didn't know if I feel like we've covered pretty much all the topics. Next show, we're going to talk about at least that non-negotiable list. I have my Mr. Right list. I don't know if you have a list from your past, or
I had a list that I could talk about. Yes, for sure. Good. So non-negotiables. What else should we talk about? If you have a topic you would like us to cover next week, send us an email, or you can message us on Instagram, or
we're very accessible. You know how to find us.
We are so accessible.
If you have a pencil that has extra lead in it, you can write down the email address. It is Scrutiny with Cheri and Andy at gmail.com, all spelled out. So
Quit making fun of my email address.
it's
I
it's
couldn't just
beautiful.
do scrutiny. What was I supposed to do?
You are fine, because you know what, one of these days we are going to hit it so big that we are going to just have the Scrutiny website, and we're going to be at scrutiny.com.
Okay. All right.
So we're excited. Yeah.
We will be more prepared next time.
Yes. And next week I'm going to be out of town, so I'm not sure if we're going to get to record next week. It may be a 2-week gap. I apologize for that. I have had a little trip planned here. And I think that when the timing of when we normally record, kind of, because I'm going to be in a different time zone, kind of overlaps to when there's some planned activities going on.
Well, I'm sure there are going to be some really upset people when we don't show up next week.
Yes. If you have an issue with that and you want to share, please feel free to email. It's scrutiny with Cheri and Andy at gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
It's always good to see you. I could talk to you for hours and it just seems like minutes. So
I know that's the sign of a good thing.
I don't know that everybody watching us feels the same way, but hey, bye.
Bye, everybody.